We have a mayor of a major American city accused of stalking and harassing a resident for taking a picture. Let's get into it.
The woman who took photos of Mayor Latoya Cantrell and her then bodyguard on a restaurant balcony is suing the mayor.
That lawsuit accuses Cantrell of violating Ann Brode's civil rights.
When Mayor Latoya Cantrell filed this protective order against Ann Brode, a civil court judge quickly dismissed the petition and ordered the mayor to pay Brode's attorney's fees. But the story did not end there. In federal court Friday, Brode filed this civil rights lawsuit against Cantrell, her chief of staff Clifton Davis, and 3 police officers who were involved in taking the mayor's police complaint against her former Pontalba apartment neighbor.
I think she just felt like someone has to stand up to this mayor, that there's just a history of bullying people.
So let's start from the beginning before we get into what's going on in this situation right here. This situation involving New Orleans Mayor Latoya Cantrell and her former bodyguard, Jeffrey Vappy, have drawn significant attention from the public. The controversy centers around allegations of a romantic relationship between Cantrell and Vappy and all of the legal problems that came from their random hookups.
Bombshell allegations in a divorce filing involving a former member of Mayor Latoya Cantrell's security detail. So in this filing, a person is listed as Mrs. LC and is accused of having an extramarital affair with Officer Jeffrey Vappy, who was once Mayor Cantrell's top detail officer. The court documents were filed just this month alleging that November is when Vappy's wife became aware of the alleged inappropriate relationship, which reportedly had been going on since May of 2021.
Most New Orleans residents don't like this mayor. Only 31% of the residents approve of a job performance, with a significant 59% disapproving. Many people are dissatisfied with the perceived slow response and ongoing issues related to crime and public safety. People are not happy. But the problem is, Mayor Cantrell was more worried about hanging out with her boyfriend, who was married at the time, and falsifying records. What am I talking about? The problem occurred when Vappy was accused of falsifying time cards to cover up time spent with the mayor, allegedly conducting a payroll fraud scheme. So he thought that he'd be able to just make money and get some action from the mayor all at the same time. So guess what happened to him? He gets hit with a federal indictment.
In a blockbuster federal indictment, Mayor Latoya Cantrell's former longtime police bodyguard, Jeffrey Vappy, was charged with 8 counts related to payroll fraud.
The government accuses Vappy of collecting city pay for official protection duties that were actually spent engaged in personal romantic encounters with his boss, the mayor.
Wire fraud, according to the indictment, transpired between August of 22 and April the 26th of 24. So, you're looking at almost 2 full years that the government can document.
The wire fraud counts against Vappy amount to just over $7,000 he collected in pay for duties that the government says was actually spent in relationship encounters with the mayor.
And this indictment against Vappy includes 7 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of making false statements. According to the indictment, Vappy falsely claimed to have worked during the periods when he was not on duty, but instead was hanging out with Mayor Cantrell. Also, the accusations against Vappy include claims that he used encrypted messaging software to communicate with the mayor, an effort seen to be attempting to conceal the nature of the relationship, because they were hooking up, obviously. The indictment also alleged that Vappy and Cantrell engaged in this conduct from November of 2021, with Vappy receiving pay for hours he didn't actually work. This situation has led to federal investigations into activities of both Vappy and Mayor Cantrell. And the problem is, her administration has already been through many issues, under a lot of scrutiny for multiple issues, including the crime rates and the city management. But for Mayor Cantrell, she can't control herself, and she gets involved in another situation with a woman named Ann Brode. Mayor Cantrell accused Brode of stalking and harassment, alleging that she has been aggressively photographing her and her police boyfriend, Jeffrey Vappy. Cantrell sought a restraining order against Brode, claiming that she felt unsafe due to Brode's actions. However, Brode claimed a counterclaim, arguing that the mayor's accusations are false. Brode admitted to taking pictures of Cantrell and Vappy, but insists she did so from her own apartment's balcony without following or harassing the mayor. Brode contends that Cantrell's reaction was exaggerated and that the photos did not show any signs of distress from the mayor. Actually, it looks very romantic. She's just looking longingly into Vappy's eyes as he gets paid to flirt and hang out while not actually working, just doing some really great stuff for the taxpayers of New Orleans. But this is where the story gets even more ridiculous.
In the lawsuit, Bro's attorney Justin Schmidt claims that Cantrell included false, defamatory, and private information about his client. All of this sparked by 2 pictures taken of the mayor up on this balcony. The now infamous photos that Bro took show Cantrell and her former police bodyguard Jeffrey Vappy at the Tableau restaurant. The pictures have not only led to an internal investigation against the now retired officer, but are part of a federal payroll fraud indictment accusing Vappy of collecting city pay for private romantic activities with the mayor.
She didn't ask for any of this. She basically took a couple of pictures and then the mayor set this whole thing in motion.
The mayor's petition went far beyond the Tableau get-together, accusing Bro of stalking and harassing her, taking other photos and videos, and including confidential information such as Bro's social security number, an old driver's license photo, and an expunged 2016 arrest.
2016 incident of the arrest was related to a domestic violence incident where she was the victim.
It's amazing how so many of these mayors are just the absolute worst. You know, the idea that you would try to use your power to take down someone off of something that you did wrong, it's just a misuse of her position as mayor, attempt to try to protect her public image at any cost. By filing a restraining order in the first place, Cantrell tried to divert attention from the potentially damaging narrative about her relationship with Vappy. This heavy-handed approach suggests an unwillingness to accept public scrutiny, especially from those who do not hold any significant power or influence. This was just a random citizen that lived across the street from this restaurant. The case against Broad, which was dismissed by a judge, underscores that the perception that Cantrell's response was more about squashing any kind of dissent and less about addressing any real threat or concern. It shows that so many of these public officials will resort to aggressive legal tactics to control the narrative or punish anyone who brings uncomfortable truths to light. This not only erodes public trust, but also raises the question about the boundaries of power for these elected officials. The way Cantrell handled this situation with Broad seems to be a part of her leadership style and her administrative priorities. They're all a bunch of garbage. It's all garbage. Instead of addressing the underlying issues or just acknowledging some mistakes, the focus has been on trying to silence critics, trying to destroy this person. This approach doesn't help to reassure the public or build confidence in her leadership. It just brings more of a bad pattern of really terrible behavior. We don't need our mayors to be bullies. We don't need our mayors to try to weaponize police, weaponize their legal authority to try to take down people just for taking a picture. It would just be much easier if everyone just took accountability for their actions, but that's not the world we live in today. But what do you guys think about this story? Let me know. Put in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.